Today I want to talk to you about how to bust through a plateau. I have some good tips for you. So first I want you to know that plateaus are normal and they happen, right? So if you're losing weight, at some point your body's going to want to achieve homeostasis. And so you're eating clean and you're doing your workouts, right? And then all of a sudden your body's like, I'm happy here. So what you gotta do is you gotta switch things up in order to break through that plateau. So I got some good tips for you. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so the first thing is you want to switch up your calories and or your macros. So sometimes people just don't realize that they're either way overeating and they're overeating healthy foods and they're like, I'm eating healthy, why am I not losing weight? And if you're not tracking those things, it's really easy to overdo it. I'm not saying that you have to track, but if you're at a plateau, maybe track for like 3 days just to see where you're at. Maybe you're way overdoing it. Another problem could be that you're way under eating. And so a lot of times people think I need to eat like 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories a day to lose weight, when in reality, if you're heavier, let's say you're 200 pounds and you start at 1,200 calories to lose weight, what happens is your body's going to get used to that, and let's say you only lost like 15 pounds. So you're 185 pounds, you're only eating 1,200 calories a day, you're doing your workouts. What you're going to have to do is cut your calories even further to lose weight. And so pretty soon you're eating 800 calories a day and you're wondering like, what the heck is going on? So that's why I'm a big fan of not cutting your calories too low, especially when you're just starting out. So if you're 200 pounds, you should be eating at least 1,800 calories a day and you'll still lose weight as long as you're, moving your body and you're eating clean calories. Okay. So just start tracking your calories through MyFitnessPal, or if you have another app that you like, and just see where you're at. Another thing you can do is just switch up your macros. And so maybe for one day you have higher carb, and then a couple days in a row you have higher protein and lower carb. And so just by switching that up, your body will be like, all right, she's doing something different, time to change it up. Next thing you want to do that you can try is just try switching up your workouts. And so let's say you're walking and let's say you're just running 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. At first it's hard, but after a while your body gets used to it. Exact same thing. You got to switch up your workouts too. You can't be doing the exact same workout. Otherwise your body's going to get used to it and it's going to adapt, and you're not going to burn as many calories by doing the exact same exercise. So try adding some sprint intervals. Try doing something different. Try a new workout. Try some like dance program or PIO or something, right? That's why Beachbody On Demand is so freaking cool. If you don't have it yet, get it, because you'll have every workout under the sun and you can always switch things up with that. All right. Tip number 2 is to focus on your cortisol. Cortisol is, it's a stress hormone. And so when your cortisol levels are elevated, it can actually cause your body to store excess body fat. And so let's say that you're doing everything right. Like you're tracking your macros and you're doing your workouts and you're picture perfect, spot on with everything you need to do, but you are like stress city and you are crazy stressed out all the time. Your body's going to store onto body fat. Okay. So you got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking that time to de-stress, whatever that means for you. So after I had my son TJ, I was super stressed out. Like I had a new baby and I was drinking too much coffee because I wasn't sleeping, and then I was drinking wine and I was drinking pre-workout drinks, and like my cortisol was through the roof. And even though I was doing my workouts and I was eating healthy, I gained 30 pounds because of my cortisol levels. So you can lower your cortisol by limiting your coffee. So caffeine increases your cortisol. You want to lower your cortisol levels. So have 1 cup of coffee a day. Cut back on drinking alcohol. So you can have like 1 or 2 drinks a week, but you definitely want to limit alcohol. Make sure you're eating whole unprocessed foods, which I know you already are for the most part, right? If you're doing the Food Freedom Project with us. So just maintain that super clean, unprocessed diet. That's going to help. And you want to actually do lower intensity workouts and not high intensity workouts. And so if you're doing something running, for example, if you're running, that can actually increase your cortisol levels, which can cause you to store body fat. Crazy, right? So if you're really stressed out and you know this is an issue for you, I would suggest doing low impact, low intensity workouts like walking and yoga or plyo, something like that. So that's what I did when I had all of my cortisol issues. I wasn't allowed to do any crazy workouts or anything like that. You can do some light strength training, hiking, that kind of thing, but low intensity workouts. And then meditating. So we already talked about your morning routine. Have you been meditating? And so just taking 5 to 10 minutes just to slow down and take some deep breaths can really make a big difference. And get some rest. I know it's hard if you have kids, but go to bed earlier, put away your electronics, your phone, at least an hour before you go to bed, and try and sleep in if you can. I know it's hard if you have kids. Okay. Last tip is to try intermittent fasting. If you haven't tried fasting yet, you know, Megan had a great video all about intermittent fasting. So just try eating your calories in a condensed window and see if that helps. Okay, so those are 3 tips to bust through a plateau. So tip number 1 is to, you know, switch up your calories, switch up your macros, switch up your workouts. Tip number 2 is to focus on your cortisol, really lowering your stress. And tip number 3 is to try intermittent fasting. So I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.